What is your business model?
Well, our business model, again, we sell a subscription to a stream of functionality, right? So we charge, it's an annual subscription that allows you access to, the products in that set that you subscribe to. So we don't charge on a, license up front and then renewal. It's a very clear, kind of smooth kind of view of what you will pay going forward. And for that, you certainly get our software today, but you get our software going forward. You get support, you get certifications, you obviously get telephone support and all of those things in it. But it's a clear subscription model where it's kind of a smooth stream of payments that you're making. But I think just as importantly, it's a dramatically lower price. And one way to think about it, high level, is our subscription price is similar to most software companies' maintenance prices. So it's almost like you're not paying the upfront license, you're paying a maintenance fee going forward. In 8 years, we've never raised the price. And so find another company that in 8 years has never raised their maintenance prices.
So when you pretty much just spin it a little different, what is really the customer concrete getting for what they're paying, or what are our own employees, let's say developers, are working on? One big thing you just mentioned is everything around certification, where we spend a lot of time ensuring that all the hardware, IBM, HP, Dell, blah, 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 all the hardware is certified, and the same on the software side. So that's where we have our own engineers working with SAP, working with Oracle, working with IBM, and so on to do this. But that's one thing as big as certification, is a very concrete added value. The other concrete added value is support. So people can call us, can send us an email, so we have people there answering it. Classical thing like in the other software business as well. Third is the maintenance for a relatively long period of time. We're now maintaining one release for actually 10 years. The community is always doing this in pretty much switching to a new kernel, but as an enterprise customer you cannot switch. So we, with Red Hat employees, have to do the backports and make sure it works in the old releases without breaking the compatibility. So that's a true added value where the customer is actually paying for, because he doesn't get this from the community. If he says he wants to choose the community. That's the third huge value. Fourth is more on the, let's say, legal side. We also give a legal protection in terms of indemnification. And keep the customers free from potential violation of third-party rights, because Microsoft and others throwing a lot of FUD out there, and that's more or less, we created this, 7 years ago, we created this software assurance, what we call, which is part of the subscription. It's called software assurance, which exactly gives this protection. So it gives that a customer, just especially the procurement and legal people, the good night's sleep, okay, and the peace of mind. In the fifth one is actually through us also the access to this whole open source, let's say, ecosystem, also with the development process. Many customers don't want to, let's say, participate themselves. They do it in form of paying us as an enterprise provider of enterprise software and open source, and with this we have developers to contribute it back. If you think of, we have roughly a little bit over 1,000 core developers. Now you can do the easy math. If you say now a developer cost you fully loaded cost, 100,000, it's a big number, which we're contributing back, because every single line of code they're doing and every single minute they're working goes back to the community. So we're contributing everything we're doing more or less back to the community. Okay, and this is more or less with the customers paying us through us, they also giving something back. Okay, or they could also choose to participate themselves, and they're part of this whole ecosystem of all. And some customers choose to do this, but not everybody chooses to do this. So this is at the end the concrete things which a customer is getting, especially when a customer says, or has to make the choice: do I do complete open source? Do I take just whatever Fedora as an example, or do I take Red Hat Enterprise Linux? Just stick with this. They for sure can use Fedora, but then they say they don't get certifications. If they don't care, fine. If they don't need security that IBM supports, certifies the hardware, fine. If they don't need the certification from SAP, fine. Okay. If they don't need long-term maintenance, fine. If they don't need legal protection, fine. Then our value proposition of the subscription is just nothing for these customers, and they're free to use the open source code. Then maybe this is just where we don't fit. Okay? But the majority of the true enterprise customers and the CIOs, they exactly need these things, because these are the negative sides, in quotes, from the core, from the pure open source model. And we as Red Hat, we have made a business model out of making open source software consumable for an enterprise customer. That's our business model at the end, to solving the negative sides, in quotes, or these things which make it impossible for an enterprise customer to use open source software. We offering their solution in form of subscription, and that's what we get paid for, because also we have people on the payroll. Rajiv, unfortunately, he's still asking for money, and Donna is also asking for money, and we have to somehow also come up with this money. It's not coming out of Jim's bank account.
Pocket, yeah.
Okay, so that's at the end the model, but it's all around adding value, because I always compare with the newspaper subscription. If you have a print paper, if you read what is the biggest newspaper in the Netherlands?
Better not say,
De
because
Telegraaf.
Well, the Telegraph, you subscribe to it, whatever, for a year, and you get it delivered every single morning. But if they suddenly start to write complete crap, you will just discontinue your subscription. They do already. Okay, if you keep subscribing to them when they start really writing complete crap, then I say, why are you still, subscribing to them? Okay.